Hi everyone, the Lone Wolf here, and welcome to another EVE Online video. In this video I'm going to try and cover everything you need to know about a POCO bash, or the destruction of a planetary customs office. The reason I'm making this video is we tried one here in the wormhole. As you can see, we've actually been successful because we've replaced a POCO by our own POCO, now owned by Co-Incorporated. But before we actually did this POCO bash, I tried to Google a little bit to try and find out what we can expect, what exactly is going to be needed in order to replace one of the existing POCOs with one of our own. And it was really hard to find, so I actually had to find some information on the old forums, a few wikis, just to try and cover all the bases. So I thought, well, maybe I should just make a video covering everything that I've learned during that POCO bash, and it might just be helpful for other corporations that want to try the same thing. So let's just start with the show info, because the first thing you'll need, let me see here, is the shield capacity, which is 10 million hit points. And the first stage of a POCO bash is going to be to get the customs office in reinforce mode, and for that you need to bring it down to 25% shield. So you know you'll have to do 7.5 million HP of damage, and it has a recharge time of 50,000 seconds, which from what I've found in the old forums should be a peak recharge rate of 500 HP per second, which is when the shield will reach 33%. Then it should be at its peak recharge rate, and that should be around 500 HP per second. So that already gives you one idea. You need at least 500 DPS, and well, quite a bit more if you want to do it in a decent amount of time, but you need at least 500 DPS in order to be able to break the best tank on the shield, which happens when it reaches 33%, and you want to get it down to 25% in order to bring the POCO in reinforce mode. To give you guys some perspective, maybe we used, I would say, almost 4,500 DPS, and in order to get the POCO in reinforce, I'd say a little bit less than half an hour, but count half an hour with a little bit of prep time and getting the right ammo and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd say half an hour, 4,500 DPS. I guess that can give you an indication. You know, if you have only like 2,000 DPS, you'll be there quite a lot longer. If you have double the DPS, you'll be done in 15 minutes or even less than that. So that's the first part. Once you reach 25% on the shield, the POCO goes invulnerable, and then it goes into a reinforce mode. Now I tried to look that up as well. At first I thought it was 24 hours plus whatever time someone sets. At least that's how it was described in the wiki, but it's not exactly that way. If I access the customs office, nope, actually that's the stuff I'm producing there. If I configure the customs office, there you go, you can actually set a time frame for the reinforcement exit. So we set it at 1800, between 1800 and 2000 EVE time for our corporation. And that's actually really good information, because I thought you had to set like +6 hours or +12 hours or +8 hours, and so that's how I thought the mechanic worked, but it turns out that that's not how it works. And thus, if you can find out what the normal time zone of the corporation is that owns the POCO you try to destroy, that can actually give you a very good indication. Let's say a Russian corporation, well, you can expect 20 to 2200 or maybe a little bit later than that EVE time for coming out of reinforce. If it's of course a US corporation, it's something completely different. It's just a pretty good system, because you can actually time the POCO to come out of reinforce when you can defend it, but it also gives the attacker a little bit of an advantage in that if they know the corporation, if you do a little bit of research on that, you'll actually have a good idea of when the customs office comes out of reinforce. So that's also something that I actually couldn't really find very clearly, but here you have it. You can set a time frame yourself as the owner of the POCO, and then depending on when you actually get the POCO in reinforced, it's going to add 24 hours and then keep going until that time frame. So there you go. After that, of course, you wait for that timer, and during that time the POCO is completely invulnerable. You can't even target it, but when it's down, the rest of the shields are gone. So that's also a little bit of something that surprises. We came back here, but the shields were completely gone. So all you have to do then, let me quickly go for a show info here, is get rid of 2500 armor hit points and 2000 structure hit points. So just another 4.5 million HP in damage to be done, but you don't have the shield recharge rate anymore. So that actually makes it quite a bit more difficult when you're going through the shield. You don't have that anymore, just 4500 damage and the POCO will be gone. For us, 4500 DPS, we did that in like 15 minutes for the second part. So yeah, hopefully that can give you like a little bit of an indication if you want to plan for a POCO bash, what kind of DPS you want to bring or what kind of time frames you can expect depending on the DPS you plan to bring. And obviously a bit of information on the timer and all of that as well. Hopefully it can help. I think that the really important ones are you gotta do 7.5 million damage on the shields, and it has a peak recharge rate of 500 hit points per second. So at the end it really starts to slow down. It's actually quite noticeable, and after that it's just 4.5 million damage without any recharge rates. And the timer, it depends on where the corporation usually plays, and that'll probably give you an indication already of what you can expect. So we know another POCO in here is from a French corporation, so we know that it is probably a very similar time frame to ours, which is perfect, of course. Once you've destroyed a POCO, you will want to replace it with your own, and so maybe just to end up, I'll show you what you need for that. Obviously one of these customs office gantries, but then you will also want these 4 extra material here: Broscott Nose, Recursive Computing, Self-Harmonizing, Power Core, and Wetware mainframes. You can always find that also in the gantry. Show info, the upgrade requirements are 8 of all of these. And then all you have to do is bring the POCO to the planet, launch for corporation, and then it's the same as setting something up in a POS. You anchor it and you online it, and there you go. You'll have earned your own POCO, and you'll be able to export and import stuff to your planet for free, which is pretty awesome. A nice little bonus here, and it was also a part of our plan when we entered the wormhole. So yeah, there you go, guys. A decently quick video, but hopefully this is all you need to know in order to bash your own POCOs successfully. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.